Hey guys, welcome back. Hope you had a good weekend. Red Monday for GME. It's been a while. Here we are. GME's getting tanked. We did get some stuff going on our long term though. I got more shares of Corsair. It's at a nice cheap price right now. We got I think 18 shares today or 16 more shares to make it even 100. Our average cost out now is 37.22. Corsair basically makes PC components. I've got Corsair parts in my PC right now that I am talking to you on. And they're also buying up different streaming companies that make hardware. Elgato's one. Basically, I'm a big bull on Corsair on PC gaming and on streaming for growth. And Corsair has been around a long time actually, but they just IPO'd. When was this? Just last year. So. Yeah, we kind of found this trend coming up on Corsair, but NASDAQ and all that, and basically all the tech stocks coming down the last few weeks, like month, brought this down really far. Looks like it found a bottom here and is now kind of flattening out. I've got some 60 calls, which is it's way up here, but I think it should do well in the near term and long term. I think it'll do great. So yeah, that's my little position on Corsair. We're looking for good earnings on it, and hopefully an earnings run up before then. I've got $60 calls, 8 $60 calls for about 2 months from now, which covers earnings. They're down 42%, so I could average down even more. I've already got $1,200 in it though, so we'll see. I'll probably kind of wait on a little bit more price action to determine when to scale into that. GME on the other hand, yeah, so we if you're following us on Twitter or even last week on YouTube, I was kind of saying, kind of predicting what kind of happened today a little bit. So on this Wednesday, they gave us a short attack and we got to the down 10%. So we got a short seller restriction list, and it came up, and then yeah, no more short selling restrictions. So it really just consolidated tight the next day. But actually on this day too, I think it came down 10% this day also. So then we're on short seller restriction list again for Friday. So tight consolidation here, pretty tight on Friday. I kind of assumed this week, I thought it'd maybe be pretty flat with consolidation or maybe some upward movement just from covering contracts in the money from last week. And I said we could have a short ladder attack on Monday because it's not on the short seller restriction list. But what I didn't expect was this short attack and then to kind of rebound better. Kind of melted off after that. And I'm not sure too sure why, but this could be so that basically, firstly, let's look at this short attack compared to the one before. This was at, let's just say 280, just give them a couple more points there. 280 all the way down to what, 223, and that was everything. It halted coming down, and that was pretty much, wasn't even 280, it was 270. Yeah, 270 down to 223, and that was it. That was everything they had, and it bounced from that nicely. If you just want to compare it to just a few days ago, how much more ammo they had then compared to now, and how few shares are actually available to short, and how much smaller that's getting every day is pretty crazy. They were at 348 the other day, and they brought it down to 172, so it's like a 50% drop. Huge drop. But even that, when they did that, I was like, that's not too bad. I mean, that's pretty much, I'm assuming that's everything they've got. As far as how much they can short attack it. And then today it was just pathetic from 270 down to 229. I mean, this, you would have just blinked, you would have missed it. So this wasn't a huge deal. To me, this looks like it's kind of the end of the beginning, because they're clearly running out of shares to short. And with this attack being so much smaller than this one, it seems like they're just they're kind of gonna be over with too pretty soon. Not be able to continue this leveraged position they have on shorts. So this kind of melting off after. I mean, basically once this bounces up, people are going to be taking profits. There's going to be some retail getting out, and they might just continue. This might just be from them continuing to short every bit. They might be just 100% shorting right now, and there might be 0 shares to borrow, more or less. You know, any shit that pops up, they might short it. So that could be kind of this. And so some people are also selling off. You kind of have a combination of both those things. That's kind of my guess right now into why it kind of is melting down here. More people are selling than buying, and it's going to melt down. I think with any sort of good news, this will go crazy, especially since there's probably like 0 shares almost to short right now. I don't have the data on it, but I knew it was low at this point in the day. I can't remember the number exactly, but once they have these attacks, it's got to be really low. And now that it's just doing this, I'm assuming they're just every share that comes available, short, 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 short. So we'll see though. It could be a new play from the hedgies, and that's what happens. So we kind of were expecting one thing, and then they do something different, and then it makes people, makes you uncomfortable, makes you think you don't know what's going on, and tries to shake you out. And for me, I'm holding. So it's still in this range. You see it's still holding support above this, like 224 line. It could drop below that, honestly, but to me, this is still a nice consolidation. Real tight consolidation, and not real tight. It's opening up now a little bit right here, but we're still above this support line, and the resistance line is right up here in this 290-300 range. So yeah, tomorrow it'll be on the short seller restriction list now. So, and I don't think they have hardly any shares to short. I'm just guessing here. Here's our 180-day moving average. So we're still bullish because the 90 is over that. The short term's over the long term. This is definitely a bear flag. And as you can see, it kind of, this is showing a bear flag. And then here's the price action to confirm that. So it's looking bearish, very short term. However, with GME, you can't always just go on technicals or symbols or whatever you go on. And with it being on the short seller restriction list, I don't imagine it'll keep. It could though. It could keep coming down and bounce off of this. If it does keep coming down, I don't think it'll come past our 180 moving average. But again, this is new. This is new from what they've done and what's happened with the price action. So I'm a less sure of very short term. Since it is on the short seller restriction list, there is that. So that makes me think it might melt up and do well tomorrow. Maybe not crazy, but then again, if I'm looking at the chart, it's like, oh, this is bearish. MACD's crossed over. These red candles below the 9 moving average. So basically for me, I'm waiting. I'm going to keep waiting to scale in more. I did get another call on this dip, kind of assuming it was going to come back up, and just in case it started squeezing this week, I'd have exposure. It didn't do it yet, so yeah. So I'll just wait until I buy more shares and more calls until it seems like it's kind of hit a bottom and started to reverse and come up, kind of like it did back here. I referenced back here, even though it probably won't do this again at this point, but kind of the same type of idea. Basically, they just want to shake people out and make people lose patience, so that they lose eyes on it. I think part of the reason also, it could be all these retailers moving over to AMC. AMC had a lot of price today, and I kind of like to see that there is a divergence between these two now, because for a long time AMC was just kind of following GME. I think AMC's big price action today, I think a lot of that actually was stimulus. I don't think much has gone into GME, and I think that's probably a couple of reasons. One is when they're getting their stimulus over the weekend, AMC was already opening up high, and so they're like, oh, this stack's doing well, let's buy that one. GME was not high, it was up just a few percent. But even a bigger factor, I think, would probably be because AMC is a lot cheaper, and for new investors or investors that don't know, they think having more shares is for some reason better, and it's not about equity. So they're thinking, oh, I can get this many shares of AMC and only a few shares of GME. I'm gonna get AMC because I want more shares. That's kind of my thoughts on what's going on there, and that this good price action day on AMC could be somewhat of a driver of this melt off here. People kind of rotating out of GME and into AMC. I'm not too convinced that retail is rotating out of this and AMC, but that is kind of, I'm sure there's some that are doing it. I think this though is still from probably hedgies just basically shorting every share they have available. They already know they're on the SSR list, so it's like, why not? Let's just keep this price down. We might have to wait for some positive news catalyst to really get this thing going and get us into gamma squeeze this week. And I'm prepared for it. I've got a lot of exposure for Friday to be good. But yeah, in the short term, I'm kind of gonna wait until I actually might not even scale in too much this week, because like I said, I've already got a lot of exposure. If there comes a good spot, I might try and get some exposure on the options for next week, because yeah, next week I don't have anything really. Just the shares. We do have a lot of shares though now. We're getting a lot slowly, little by little. I think we're at like 60 something shares. So 20 on here, 24 on here, 44, 54 because that account, 54. I think 54 shares. But yeah, this might be the long game. So options, you can lose the money quick, and with shares, you just have to be patient. So we'll see. That's where I'm at on GameStop. I mean, again, this thing does not move rationally. It seems manipulated in like every move it makes. So it's 330 now. In the last 30 minutes, this thing could be up at 300. I don't know. But as I'm making this video, it looks like it looks bearish, and it might bounce off this line. It might stay flat and kind of run up tomorrow. I don't have much for tomorrow. I'm gonna be waiting though before I make any more bullish plays on it. Yeah. So when we wait for GME, I need to find some other stuff to trade. And that's when I started looking around, found Corsair. Well, I was looking at Corsair anyways, but it was looking good. And then let's see, Rocket. I'm kind of keeping my eye on Rocket. I opened up a covered call on it for our long term because we have 140 shares on here. Got a covered call, 29.89, expiring on Friday. It's okay premium. What is it? I think it was 74. That's pretty good actually. 74 bucks. Has to expire below, or no, 49. I opened one up at here. I got scared because it was running up, and then I closed it. So I was like, oh, this thing might squeeze. Whatever. And then what else did we do? Oh, you do WMC. We have that. Oh, Airbnb. Opened up a covered call on Airbnb also. It looks like it's kind of at a top here. I wasn't sure, but I wanted a covered call anyways. Airbnb premium's a lot nicer, just because it's more expensive. So to have 100 shares is a lot of capital. Let's see, this covered call is for 220, and it's, what is it? There you go, $330 premium by Friday. So Airbnb stays below 220 by Friday, we keep that 330 premium. Well, we keep that anyways, but basically we can keep our shares in also. If it comes up to 220, I will just roll it over. I'm long term on Airbnb. I'm not planning on selling those shares. So yep, that's it for me, guys. Not a whole lot. Tough to watch this today when we were expecting a bump, and then they do that, and it's like, oh, it's melting down. I kind of got in a little early. Let me show you guys let me show you the contract I basically picked up. So I averaged down. It's crazy. So I had the 600 call for Friday. It was down about this much. It was down about 46, maybe 50% before that drop this morning. And I was stoked. I'm like, this thing's losing premium. I actually really liked it because I was like, I can really average down on this thing. And just because I can see it consolidating, I'm like, this is great. And then it had that crazy short attack, and then it really got cheap. So if we look here, let's see, where was it? Yeah, it was right here. So this low right here, I think this was it. Yeah, this was a short attack right here. I picked one up right here at 330? No. 365 right here on the dip. And I was like, okay. So I was expecting it to bounce and kind of hold up that higher level. And then it didn't. And so what happens with the option premium is it loses value, because it not only did it go down, but just because it stayed pretty flat, but it going down also, now it's even cheaper than when I bought it. So that's a lesson with the options, like buying on the dips. Like I said, not always the greatest. I said that last week with the options. I even showed that same chart showing how if you bought it on the dip or waited a couple days, they were their same price. And that's kind of the risk you play with short-term dated options, because yeah, time decay. So we'll see. I've got enough exposure. We'll see what happens after hours. I am along for the ride. Thanks so much for watching, guys. Make sure to sub up, like up, comment down. Happy money sticks around. Follow us on Twitter. I was kind of kind of posting today. I was telling, let's see, where was it? GME could short attack today, so that was before market open. Look for 10% down on the day to go long if that's your plan. So I was kind of expecting a little short attack today. Not always right on my predictions, but I assumed it's off the short seller restriction list. It'll probably drop 10%, and that's when I scaled in, was on that 10% down. What I didn't expect was it to kind of melt down after, but here we go. SSR engaged, picked up another call. Delta going down, short attack here. But yeah, then I was cocky about how little they got it down. But yeah, follow us on there, and we will see you tomorrow. Thanks, guys. Peace out.